So during the bye, obviously this week you're focusing on the Giants. During the bye, how did you kind of split up your time knowing that you had 3 games in 11 days?
Spent a decent amount on us. Spent some time on the future opponents. And then the back end of the week, we turned our focus to the Giants.
When you go back and look and take that week, how much value do you find in the self-scouting and self-reflection? You get that little extra time to do that. Do you find that particularly beneficial this week?
You find a few nuggets. I mean, our coaches do a great job each week trying to self-scout ourselves. But there's a few things that come up that, you know, when you have a little bit more extended time that you're able to look at and say, okay, we can be better here, whether it's calling it, preparation, concepts, whatever it might be.
Did you feel that bye week was just necessary at this point? I mean, this team started earlier than just about everybody with the Chiefs. You had the latest bye week, and now you're heading into 3 games, 11 days. Just time-wise, just how challenging has that been, and what was the benefits of the bye?
The benefits were, again, the things we talked about in terms of looking ourselves and then future opponents. You can see it in terms of our injury report. You can see it in terms of having the week for our guys. To me, it's more for our players and their bodies more than it is us. I mean, it's what we do. I mean, we came in, we worked just like we would as if we were, if it was a game week. So, it came at, you always say that it comes at the right time, but I think it did.
Todd, Mark Andrews is 1 touchdown from the organization record. From your perspective, what makes him so special?
Competitiveness. I mean, he's an elite competitor. I think that's the best way to put it. Football's important to him. Everything we do is important to him. Meetings are important to him. His body is important to him. How he plays. So he's a top level competitor. One of the top competitors I've ever been around.
Do you ever have to dial him back, like training camp in July, or because he's so intense in everything he does?
He does a pretty good job of monitoring himself. You'd have to ask him that. I haven't ever. I think we've had to do that with, any of our players that go as hard as he goes. I think that's he probably would run himself in the ground, but you'd have to ask him that. Like it doesn't feel like we've ever monitored that, other than when he's been nicked up a little bit, because he doesn't want to be out. He really wants to be in there. He loves playing the game.
Good.
Todd, we have Army and Navy playing here in this area this week. I know you're not a disinterested observer of that. Do you be able to see Jeff at all when he's here? Or?
I would doubt it.
Okay.
Would go Army.
Yeah.
Todd, obviously the Giants have lost some guys up front for their pass rush. You guys have had the opportunity for the offensive line to regroup and get healthy over the break. Just how do you kind of see that matchup shaping up, and I guess what are your kind of expectations for the line over these next 4 weeks?
Well, I thought the guys that they played last week played pretty well. Like I didn't see, a significant drop off. I mean, they're pros. They've been waiting for their opportunity. So we're gonna have to play well. We're gonna play a lot better than we did a couple weeks ago, and our guys are up to that challenge. I think the bye week's gonna help, and we got to be ready to go. I mean, not only their guys up front, but 5 of the last 6 games that they played have been 1-score games. I mean, let's say it like it is. They're certainly more than capable, and they do a good job on defense. Schematically, they get good players. We're going to have to play our butts off.
Todd, as you get into these December, January games, how much does weather affect game planning?
I guess it could if you knew in advance, what you're getting. We don't always know in advance what we're getting. I do think your ability to be able to run the ball, play with physicality, control the game that way, certainly carries you maybe more in wind than it does rain. But it hasn't come up yet this year to where I've thought about that part of it.
Todd, I don't know if you followed it at all, but I'm curious if you had any reaction to Bill Belichick taking the UNC job. Pay attention at all?
I don't know how to react. Good for him. I mean, if that's what he wants to do, good for anybody that has an opportunity to be a head coach again, whatever level that might be. I'm sure it's an exciting time for him, those that go with him there, and for the University of North Carolina. I mean, so good for him.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thanks.